And a lot of it is DHgate. Not to be a hater. Usually I'm like, girl, get your bag, save your money.
Look at this. Look at this. Look, they're all walking in together with this guy.
Of course they are. Why would you say that? Who would post a workout that they're not actually doing?
All right, so on this week's episode of What Influencers Are Lying About Now, we have a number of examples to check out today, adding on to the fact that you really can't believe everything you see on the internet. And I honestly bet that I could make this an almost daily series. I'm pretty sure there are actually dedicated channels to showing you all the terrible things influencers do all the time, but I'm just going to share with you some of the stuff that I've seen recently, pretty heavily centered towards faking content for views, sympathy, attention, anything like that, which ends up turning into money, and maybe some stuff to look out for the next time you see a viral post from another one of these creators. But we're just going to jump right into it with an influencer caught red-handed.
So I was just casually walking around Walmart and I came across these 2 full carts of kids' returns, and I was just having a conversation with one of the associates, and I asked them, why are these all over here? They're on clearance, aren't they? Like, is there a clearance section? Is there any more? And she told me that 2 days ago, a gentleman came in and purchased all of these and made a TikTok video about purchasing them for his community. And 2 days later, she was outside having lunch and she saw the same gentleman send an older gentleman in to return them. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. Some of these videos and some of these influencers that you're following, seriously? I guess you had to make rent.
The last thing she said really does nail it on the head. It is all about money. Now, if we go into the comment section, everybody knows who this was. It's Crown Star. Never heard of him. Turned off all of his comments, obviously because he got caught, and there's a number of comments saying that it was him. So we could take a look at this channel, Crown Star official page, 150,000 followers, and he has many of these videos where he goes into Walmart and looks like he's just buying everything in the store. Unbelievable amounts of clothing. Of course he's being recorded. He needs to get those sweet, sweet views showing that he's doing good things for everybody, and that's not even the case now. At least with those cringy videos that you've probably seen where it's like, oh, I'm giving a homeless man $1,000. They actually do give them the money sometimes. That's not 100%, but even though in the end they're just doing it for their own gain or they wouldn't be recording it for all of their followers, this guy isn't even doing that. He'll make the entire video look like he's purchasing a ton of clothes, and then a couple days later he returns it. And then we wonder why some of these stores are starting to pull back on the free returns, charging for returns. Amazon has a huge problem with it. One of the big culprits are those Amazon must-have videos. They show 10, 20 different items in a minute-long video, all of these random little gadgets with affiliate links, and then they end up returning those items for just 100% positive gain. They made money off of the video, they made money off of the affiliates, and they didn't pay a dime in the end. We have a comment from one of you guys. I'm glad to see the crackdown on return abuse. I worked in retail and people are gross, and it brings up the cost for all of us. Maybe manufacturers will finally start making less too. I don't know too much about that last sentence. It'll probably just go into a landfill and turn into a tax loss because that's just how the world works now, unfortunately. But because of instances like this garnering a ton of views, it just makes even more people do the exact same thing just for a little bit of internet attention.
All right, we're at the food pantry right now, and these guys back here, there's probably 15 of them here with a full production crew just so they can donate 4 turkeys. Look at this. Look at this. Look, they're all walking in together with this guy. And then they took photos of this full thing as if they brought it when they brought like 6. I appreciate people donating, but like, don't come in here talking about how rich you are, which they did, and then donate 7 turkeys. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're doing it 100% for the wrong reasons.
Unfortunately, just another example. I think maybe some of this content has kind of died down on YouTube. I'm not exactly sure. All of those types of content creators, KSI, Logan Paul, the huge people were just giving away money on tons of videos like that years ago, and it would gain millions of views and end up making them even more money. People are still faking it, probably transitioning more over to TikTok, but I honestly don't know how you think you wouldn't get caught. Everybody's walking around with a 4K camera right now, And if you come in with a production team and recording everything, people are going to think that you're somebody big, most likely on social media. And if they're actively watching you fake a video, somebody's going to record it and call you out. It seems pretty cut and dry to me, but I guess that's just not how they think. Now we'll transition into the unbelievable hauls you'll see on TikTok. $10,000, $20,000, especially during Christmas.
I saw the Izzy and Kylan Darnell Rich Girl Christmas haul, and a lot of it is DHgate. Not to be a hater, usually I'm like, girl, get your bag, save your money. But the fact that they're flaunting all this stuff as if it's real, this was my first giveaway. When she showed her Chanel shoes, they came in a matte Chanel black box. Chanel shoes come in a box that's kind of like textured like this. They're not matte.
And the rest of this video goes over many other items she saw that just weren't authentic from this huge creator, where she's showing all the designer stuff that she got for a Christmas haul. Look at how much money I have. Look at all these fancy designer items. And it ends up being DHgate fake items. Now, I think fake luxury goods are a huge topic in today's world. Everybody wants some sort of designer to make it look like they have a whole bunch of money. If you do end up purchasing it and going into debt, most likely, you find out the quality is not that great. However, if you buy the replica stuff that's way cheaper, that looks very close to what you're going to get in the authentic ones, it still seems to me like you're just trying to push, like, look at how much money I have to everybody else, when that's just clearly not the case. So I think it's a mess either way, but I especially think it's messed up for all of these super high-end popular influencers to just show all the fake stuff and try to pass it off as authentic. We can look at some of the comments here. I think her holding the bags up for a few seconds and Izzy deleting her haul, so that's another influencer faking it, kind of tells us everything we need to know. Just nothing but comments nitpicking every item. Does Chanel put tags on their bags? Drop the DHgate links. I've never seen Chanel shoes have printed on logos. I've only seen the logo leather embossed. What I also think is crazy is that there are some comments defending trying to pass off these replica items to all of their viewers as authentic. Kylan, whoever that is, has always passed off DHgate jewelry, clothing, shoes on her outfits of the day. This is nothing new. So why would you watch? Izzy deleted her Christmas haul. That's enough proof for me. So there are many of these influencers that try to one-up each other, make it look like they have so much money. They got so many awesome gifts, when it ends up just being from DHgate and all of its replicas. We have another comment from one of you guys. If people stop wasting their time and money on these so-called influencers, they'll actually become more productive with their own lives. Those influencers would disappear. But honestly, I agree with the comment. It's just not how the world works anymore. Celebrity culture has been huge forever, even if it's somebody who isn't unbelievably talented. And some people will just absolutely obsess with it. And the influencer era is the new version of Hollywood today. So with how ridiculous all of this is, people lying, faking their content, it doesn't really matter. It seems like it's only going to get bigger until the next new big thing, like social media, comes along, whatever that may be in the future.
People will be like, I actually didn't work out 6 times a day. And it's like,
the BBL fitness influencers all have a special spot in hell, though. Like, you are diabolical people for that. Like, that is to make people try to attain your literal fat grafting.
but that's
dark.
not a problem that just now, like, that's not a problem we're just discovering right now. That just is a problem. That's still a problem today.
I can't believe I'm about to have to tell my husband that he was completely right when he used to always tell me all these workout videos I would save. He's like, you know, half of them aren't even doing those workouts, right? And I'm like, no, of course they are. Why would you say that? Who would post a workout that they're not actually doing? And he was freaking right. Y'all admitting this stuff now, and I'm really questioning everything. Like, I know social media is fake, but I give people way too much credit, apparently.
So the fitness industry over the past few years has been a complete mess in general, on both sides, men and women claiming they're natty when they're both on some sort of performance enhancing drugs or taking surgeries, on heavy weight loss drugs, saying that it's just diet and exercise. It has just gotten exponentially worse, because I was into the fitness industry about 10 years ago, 2015, and even back then there were a few people who would try to Photoshop their pictures, but it is way worse now. And on top of it, the TikTok workout influencers. You probably heard about this creator when TikTok was going to be banned and everybody was just airing their dirty laundry before the app closed, and this woman ended up not really doing her workouts that she was putting online, gaining millions of views. I mean, look at this account, 2.7 million followers. Here we could see a whole bunch of her videos before she admitted it. We're in the millions right now. Almost all the videos around that range. However, because of the backlash and actually admitting that, yeah, My videos were fake, what are you gonna do? All of her recent stuff, it seems like she has dropped a whole ton of her fans, even with the follower count being ridiculously high. All of her recent videos that are around 100,000, 150,000 views, I mean, some of them are around 60. So for once, there actually does seem to be some consequences with a creator lying to her viewers. It almost seems like you could do whatever you want, apologize, and then just move on and nothing will ever happen. But it seems like this woman is actually getting some heat for this. Surprising. Now this last one I wanted to put in, it does look a little ridiculous, the clip, but I will tell you it is actually real, even though the clip kind of looks like a wannabe TMZ.
2 weeks ago, Houston socialite Teresa Romer's closet was broken into while she and her husband were out to dinner. She told us the burglar made off with goods worth $1 million. But now, in a bizarre development, the robber is coming forward and has the nerve to say he's the one who was robbed.
All the items that were taken, fake.
Using a voice distortion device like this one, the man claiming to be the burglar called a reporter at the Houston Press newspaper. He said when he tried to sell the stuff he stole, he discovered it was a fake.
Okay, I know the video clip looks pretty ridiculous. Honestly, it just kind of looks fake, but I did look it up. There were many news articles going over the entire event. It did actually happen, but it happened back in 2014. So this is a random social media star, I guess you could say, 10 years ago. So this has been happening for quite a long time. It's not the past few years because TikTok is huge now. This woman still makes videos showing all of her bags that are most likely not authentic and all the shoes, all the designer stuff that you've seen 100 times before. But her biggest social media page is her Instagram with 1.2 million followers, lifestyle mentor. Okay, geez. And what I also found funny is if you look at almost every single post, they have almost exactly 10,000 likes, 10,000 to 10,500 likes, and only like 50 to 70 comments, every single one of them. So even with the 1.2 million followers, that's a terrible, terrible engagement rate. But because it's the exact same likes every time, I would most likely guess that these are also being bought. So I guess she's been trying to push this fake influencer lifestyle for going on a decade now. So if you think that any of this kind of stuff is going to stop pretty soon because of how ridiculous TikTok has gotten, it is probably only going to grow in size in the future.
Right after this incident, I fully cooperated with law enforcement and took full responsibility for my actions on that day. I am truly deeply sorry for the pain that I've caused that family now and then. I am so sorry for anyone that I have hurt with that video.
She's not sorry for what she did. She's just sorry that she got caught because this resurfaced after she became a famous influencer, obviously becoming her full-time job, and she's going to lose everything because of it. We could go right over to the comments. She blamed it on her mom passing. How does that even relate? What's so funny? As a mother, the rage I felt watching this. I do think it's also interesting that all of these influencer or YouTuber apologies almost sound identical in the way that they speak, which just tells me even more. She's sorry that she got caught and doesn't want to lose all of her possible brand deals and the money coming in. But we could switch over to the next clip of James Charles clearly faking his reactions, all in the name to make a better TikTok video.
Look at the face he makes at the end of the video. Everything these people do is a performance. And it's not just James Charles, it's also regular people like this couple in Greece. To all the people who call me a bully for wanting to de-influence the world, I would ask you if this is a world that you want to live in.
There are so many examples of this as well. If you look up on Instagram influencers in the wild, the entire page is dedicated to the ridiculousness of influencers just like this. But James Charles has to be positive on his Disney trip because he's so big he could probably have a partnership with them. It just proves my point even more, how fake these online personalities are. And then a whole bunch of the comments were making fun of him, the toddler stance. Why is it so hard for them to be honest and authentic? And to add on all of these influencers recording themselves, making them look so good. We have a comment from one of you guys: when you do a good deed, you don't need to record yourself and post your greatness for the whole world to see. I feel like everybody watching this video has probably seen that before on YouTube, Instagram. Somebody makes a video giving $1,000 to a homeless person, and then that garners millions of views views, overall making them even more money than they gave away, along with making them look like a saint, and they're such a good person, right? On top of all the examples that we've seen previously on this channel about influencers lying about being very good people and donating, it's all for the camera, and as soon as they stop recording, they just completely walk away.
I just saw the most insane thing, and I feel like I have to come on here and share it, and I also don't know why people are fake. Anyways, went to the beach. There's this mom came with her little daughter. They're kind of wearing matching swimsuits-ish, whatever. Anyway, so she like pulls out her tripod, and she like sets it up. She pulls out her like little blanket and her little umbrella thing and set that all up, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, starts camcording her and her daughter like building a sandcastle, whatever. And I was like, oh, like that's kind of cute. Like, I wish that I was better at that. Like, I need to record more of me and my kids, or I need to take more pictures of me and my kids, because a lot of times like I forget. She is like playing for about 10 seconds, and then she stops and she gets up and she looks at her phone, and then she kind of looks at it and was like, she doesn't really like it. So she goes back to the kid. She knocks over part of the sandcastle, and I'm not even kidding, she knocks it over, and the kid is like, Mom. But the kid is also not super frustrated, and it looks like this has happened before. And so then she like is like, okay, now we're gonna do it again. And then they start rebuilding the same sandcastle after like her phone is recording them.
This is only a part of the story as well. It gets even worse. Everything, again, is fabricated. They go out into the ocean and play, but it has to be the perfect angle, so nothing in the end is actually authentic. But thank God you got some Instagram likes and attention online, right? Some of the comments here. Someone said recently they saw Avery Woods at a farmer's market, and it was like a Black Mirror episode. She was constantly moving and setting up her tripod, then gasping and talking to her phone, reacting to what she found there. Then she was ignoring her family and just moving around with the tripod to make content. This video plus James Charles at Epcot, the clip that we just saw, just reinforced my belief that influencers act so oddly and are just performers. There are so many clips of these people just acting like brats as well. Here's one influencer upset that the airport's too noisy for her to relax. Influencer crying because she can't take sunset photos. Her camera ended up breaking and she decided to record herself crying and posting it online as if it's relatable. Here's just a really quick clip that I grabbed from a repost because, surprise, surprise, the original was taken down because of how ridiculous the statement was.
Influencing is never going to be seen as a real job, and it's like people will give us less credit than an athlete.
People will give influencers less credit than a professional athlete. Yes, you pulling out your phone and recording your day in the life is not the same as catching the final touchdown to win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. But this is really how these people start to think, because they end up gaining a large following, sometimes very quickly as well, so they just think that they're better than anybody else around them.
We have some breaking news right now about New York City influencers. Influencers now believe themselves to be under attack by the general public. Influencer Kaylee from Kaylee in the City was known to have quoted, "It's so disrespectful. I set up my camera to lip sync to a Sabrina Carpenter song and a man actually walked in front of it." And Kaylee is not alone. Hundreds of influencers have reported similar run-ins with the public. For example, people walking dogs, feeding pigeons, and even, brace yourselves, existing in the background of their videos. More to come. Follow along as I update you on Public Gate.
It's so disrespectful. Babe, it's disrespectful to assume that you're anything more than a speck in the cultural hub with over 10 million people in NYC. I'm glad they're finally realizing it. Go back to Idaho. They need to move to Long Island or something. People in New York barely respect full-on TV and movie productions on the street. What do influencers expect for themselves, honestly? I grew up a little bit over 30 minutes away from NYC, so I've been there a fair amount in my life. And if you think people from New Jersey are mean, just wait until you get into the city. But apparently the whole world has to stop, so you could do a TikTok dance for some attention.
Is that we are the brands held to the absolute highest of
Is this the same woman who was supposed to be promoting a mascara brand and put fake lashes on in her video to promote the mascara? Like, it really lengthened your lashes?
So if you don't know who that was Michaela Nogueira. We've talked about her a few times, one of the biggest faces in the beauty guru scene. She's also complained about how hard being a social media star is, having to do brand meetings every day and then film for a few hours a day. Oh, the horror. But she was also caught lying about her eyelashes to promote her brand. Why am I not surprised? Go easy on her. She worked till 5 p.m. She's clearly exhausted. That was a reference to the Out of Touch video from a while ago saying how hard her life was. was, what happened to her heavy accent? Very good point there as well. In a lot of her clips, she has an extremely heavy New England accent that from many different examples she puts on just to gain more attention. So even her voice is a lie. Where's her harsh accent again? Another comment from you guys, I swear in 10 years we'll look back at the influencer era like some sort of collective fever dream and we'll wonder what was wrong with us. I mean, I hope that's the case, but before this, people were just as crazy with celebrities and the red carpet, everything to do with Hollywood, and this is just the new version of it because everybody sits on their phones all day long now.
New York, another Instagrammer that fasts his money is about to go to jail. He said he made all his money in sports betting, but had 14 different IDs, and now has 14 counts of fraud. Don't believe the internet. Remember this man who had all those cars in front of his house? Well, he went to jail for illegal fire sticks. That's how he made all his money. Remember this man? He used to give out money to fast food workers. Well, he was scamming people out of Bitcoin and had a fake investment company. Remember this guy, this African scammer that will flash online? Well, he's doing 11 years in the feds and got arrested from Dubai.
The amount of gurus and social media stars that would flaunt all their wealth or make it look like they're such good people, right? Giving money away to fast food workers are almost always the people who end up getting caught and actually doing prison time, not just getting canceled online, committing crimes and going to jail. But let's switch over to TikTok and selling you everything under the sun.
Just like that, I'm saved from losing all my muscle mass. I just received my Bloom creatine monohydrate in the mail literally less than an hour ago.
So we're going to cut it off there because you already know what she's going to say in the rest of the video. This is the best product ever. I guess you just taking creatine will now keep your muscle mass on forever, which creatine does have positive effects, but you still have to be regularly working out along with having a solid diet. But she goes on and on with her audience that seems to be a bit older that you absolutely need to get this Bloom product. From my link, please, I need the commission, and everything will just magically be okay. We've already talked about Bloom before because they sponsor so many different influencers. They had one that was just an instant anti-bloat, just a bunch of nonsense products that are made out to be the best thing on the planet. Stronger, smarter, and energized, creatine isn't just for the bros. It's your new secret weapon. So why are all the bodybuilders hopping on Tren and HGH? All you need is this Bloom creatine, I guess. Another comment from you guys, people will literally eat magic internet powder instead of eating a vegetable. Everybody wants a secret, a hack, instead of just doing it the plain old-fashioned proven way of a healthy nutrition and exercise program.
I don't believe any of those videos. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I have 8,000 followers, and I made $56,000 on TikTok last month. For the past several months, my For You page has been flooded with videos like this, and this, and this. All of people claiming to make thousands of dollars on TikTok Shop. I called bullshit. I was like, there is no way that this is possible. The way I was descended upon by the TikTok Shop affiliate community, I decided to take matters in my own hands and post TikTok Shop videos for an entire month, and here are the results. Now, why I started this experiment is because a lot of the time you will go to these affiliate people's pages and they are all selling courses, selling Discord groups, questionable how they got their numbers with their views, how they even got a following in the first place. So I got all the tea and all the secrets, honey.
So not surprising at all, it's much easier to sell a course showing that it's so easy to sell on TikTok Shop. All you gotta do is post a couple videos and the checks just start rolling in. Oh man, I make so much money. And if you say anything negative about it, you start getting harassed in the comment section. Before we go to the second part of this clip, we can look at some of the comments. It's like the new age MLM pyramid scheme. People go viral for making fraud claims. It's literally such a scam. I appreciate a recent creator showed she made $400 in a week after posting 50 plus videos daily. That is a job. So we could go over to what she ended up finding out about this community.
It seems that most people are buying accounts with 5,000 to 6,000 followers are doing this to bypass a threshold in TikTok Shop, which you can post multiple TikTok Shop videos a day. Once you hit 5,000, you can go ham and post 100 a day. That is what seems to be the general practice of most TikTok Shop affiliates, making TikTok Shop only accounts, blasting those videos out in the hopes that one goes viral. If that video goes viral, they are claiming that you will make thousands of dollars. Seems to be a lot of strategy behind how people are picking products. But people are also claiming that some accounts are getting shadow banned, some perform better than others, and so they are not able to provide conclusive numbers for how much money they make because they have multiple TikTok shop accounts. Some will have 3 TikTok shop accounts, say they're making $100,000 a month, and they won't compile the screenshots. They won't compile the receipts.
I don't know. Seems to me it would be really easy to just switch accounts and hit the screenshot button on your smartphone, but apparently that's too difficult for all these gurus. Please buy my $100 course. And in the end, it's just making a ridiculous amount of videos and hopefully getting lucky that one hits the algorithm. That's it. There's no real secret other than that. So as the comments said before, if you're making 50 plus videos a day, it doesn't seem nearly as easy as all of these people try to make it out to be. It would actually take hours out of your day, possibly even the same as a normal 9 to 5. And there's no guarantee that anything will happen. Maybe all of the videos just get stuck in that 300 view range and you make no money. But speaking of advertisements, especially in the middle of videos, we have this next clip that is a repost because the original was taken down, but we just gotta roll it.
On Friday, August 22nd, our world was turned upside down when a fire broke out in our garage. I've been through a lot of tough things in my life, but this one takes really since sad. Then, we have been trying to salvage what we can. But most of what wasn't taken by the fire reeks of smoke is destroyed by water damage. Presley's closet was the farthest from the fire, so I rushed to try to save her clothes. It has been a process, airing them out for 24 hours, soaking them in vinegar and borax for a few hours, and then washing them again and again. Every day, I just remind myself what matters most and that my family is safe. Still in the midst of all of this, I'm finding some days I only eat once or twice and I don't get nearly enough protein. That's why doing a Live Body protein shake is such a lifesaver. They're quick, easy, made with all natural ingredients.
Guys, we've reached peak influencer. My house just burnt down. Here's some footage of the tragedy. Let me weave an ad for a protein shake in the middle of it.
You really can't make this stuff up. And this has gotten a ton of traction online. And I've seen that some people have gone to her defense because obviously her house just burnt down. It's terrible. So people are saying it's completely fine, you know, go get that bag. But if she made a video just straight up saying, hey, my house just burnt down, I'm going to need money to repair it, here's an advertisement for the protein shake, I think a lot more people would have understood. But she did one of those sneaky, seamless transitions into an ad that so many of us see online, especially on YouTube videos now, but it does happen all over social media too. And to be honest, it just irks me the wrong way. I don't really know what to say. It just seemed like an episode of Black Mirror because you just went through a tragedy and somehow are still trying to get your followers to buy a protein powder. Another comment from you guys: if I see an influencer being sponsored by something, I automatically assume it's a scam. Makes me trust the product even less. But keeping on with the fitness industry, not surprising, we still have so many people lying about their natural status.
Hussein Farhat was officially exposed for being a fake natty. Now, this came out of nowhere from Greg Doucette after commenting on a recent video and post, and this is exactly what it says. It turns out Hussein was actually on a 16-month cycle when he first joined the gym, involving a lot of steroids as well as MK677, and then hopped off and has a certain type of polymorphism that allows him to keep all of his gains. I was shocked as everyone. I'm sure once this video comes out, but I was not part of it. I did not know that he had done this for the first 16 months of his lifting career, and I'm truly not sure where Greg actually got this info from, but it had to be very recently because this whole fake natty debacle never went away after Jeff Nippard posted a video with Hussein Farhat and Julian Fitzgerald, which Greg and Jeff are two guys in the industry that have a lot of credibility and they both believe their word and their blood work. Now, some people are saying they did this for the money and views, which sure, that could be true, but the blood work is the blood work, and if he took this 3 or 4 years ago, the blood work isn't going to show that most likely. And Greg also said Hussein will be addressing this situation in the next couple days, and it's unfortunate. It's another guy who sold his whole thing on being a natural and is now making money off of people because he completely lied. And I'm not gonna lie, this makes Julian Fitzgerald also look questionable as well.
This is just one of the recent examples. This has happened so many times in the fitness industry because now you need to look bigger and better than everybody that came before you, and then you get to sell out your workout program or be a coach, get sponsored by Gymshark or something like that, having affiliate links as well. So it legitimately pays pays to lie about your natural status, take steroids to get as big as possible, and just start collecting checks. I made an entire dedicated video about this, and I asked you guys, are there any other fitness influencers that I missed? Too many. It's like mopping with the water still pouring in. I'm sure you could start a new channel with a weekly upload focused on the exact topic and you would never run out of material. But we'll switch over to an example that I legitimately thought the first time looking at this, it had to be a satire account. This guy was just making fun of all the other gurus, but we could just roll the first clip.
Call me crazy, but if you put $200 in a trading account and grow it at 2% every single day for 250 days, you get around $7,000.
You guys didn't think of that before? Just 2% every single day? Why stop there? 5%, 10% a day? It's really that easy. Forget all the people that try to do that for a living on Wall Street. You should just be listening to this guy. So if you compare this to a lot of the other day trading gurus, this seems very low quality, which is why I initially thought it was a joke, but we can look at some of the comments. Yeah, it's not that easy. It would be great if there was a platform that existed like that. DM me to join to get started today with an Instagram. So first we'll take a look at his TikTok with a whopping 126 followers. Investor trader helping people attain Wi-Fi. Doesn't really look like it's gaining too much traction, but we could head over to his Instagram. That is much different from his 125 followers. This one has almost exactly 50,000. Kinda odd that there's such a difference between his platforms. But if we go over to one of his posts 6 days ago, has a whopping 8 likes with 50k followers. What does that tell you? Basically, all of his followers were bought to inflate the numbers to make him look more legit, but he hasn't done that yet on TikTok, so his account is very small.
Have you been wanting to learn how to trade, but you just don't know where to start? I'll put you on game. AkashX has the best financial resources, education, and software to help you achieve your goals.
Okay, so a little bit of advice. If you're trying to be a guru and grift people with the courses, you have to get a little bit better at speaking to the camera. I know that I'm probably not the best example because I have a million jump cuts in my videos, right? But a lot of the other gurus that we've taken a look at on this channel have charisma. Maybe they're jacked, they have a big mansion or a Lamborghini in the background trying to make it look like they're super rich. This doesn't have any of it. It just looks really rough. I don't really know what else to say, but I thought that this screenshot went really well with the last clip. If you've genuinely made enough money from your side hustle to retire at 30, why are you still on my feed 9 times a day trying to sell me a course? Go retire or something. Couldn't have really said it better myself. Well, we're gonna finish off with a couple of streamers, YouTubers, I guess just social media personalities, because they end up getting banned off of many platforms just being terrible human beings for content.
If you guys want to be pissed for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you guys a certain individual who just recently got arrested by the Korean police for harassing people. So what this guy essentially does in his whole shtick is basically going to public spaces, having a speaker on him, and then when people donate stuff, he'll do the text-to-speech, so they say something crazy or annoying or whatever, and then he'll just act a fool in public. Usually it's just innocent people who are going about their day, they're just, you know, minding their own business. His whole purpose in life is to go around and make people feel uncomfortable. Now there's a catch. He only goes to countries where he knows that they're not going to really do anything to him because they're too polite. For example, he tried this in Japan already, where he ended up having to flee the country, and now he's in Korea, and he's stuck in Korea because he was harassing people on the street to the point where there was a full-blown manhunt for this guy. Now, if he tried this in any other country, for example, if he tried this in Mexico, doing any of the antics that he was going around trying to do, I guarantee you he would not last more than 24 hours. Mexicans don't play about that kind of stuff. Like, he would literally not be living if he were to try this type of activity. So he's going around doing stuff he knows is going to anger people, just being blatantly disrespectful just so that he gets paid.
And now he's suffering the consequences. Please keep him in Korean jail. I hope he actually goes to jail. Can I donate to the Korean prison for arresting him? Nobody is on his side whatsoever. And it's not like this guy was making millions and millions of dollars. He had a pretty small following of viewers who were donating to him just to be a nuisance to everybody around them. How is that even content? And this isn't even the only example of this happening recently.
Vitaly thought it would be a great idea to steal a motorcycle, an industrial fan, a red light mask, and a couple guard hats, and then harass a bunch of Filipino citizens for his own live stream content. This was the the worst decision of his life. Because in the Philippines, stealing a car or a motorcycle is an automatic 20-year prison sentence. 20 years, though, for what he did sounds absolutely insane to me as a Westerner, as if he did this in the US, let's be realistic now, he would already be out on bail and would probably only be facing some fines. But that's why it's just so incredibly important for all these American creators to realize, if you travel abroad and mess around in other countries, you are at the mercy of their legal system. So you better respect their culture. Your American rights, they're pretty much gone as soon as you leave the country. And don't get me wrong, Vitaly definitely deserves to get punished for this. I'm just not so sure about 20 years. That's pretty crazy.
I don't know about that. If you know who this is, Vitaly has basically made a career out of doing this kind of stuff for years now. He was one of the pioneers on the prank channels on YouTube a long time ago, getting more and more extreme. He would go and streak at tons of live sporting events, getting arrested every time, but he wanted to do it because it would get him more attention. I mean, doing terrible things one after another just to keep his career alive, and now it's finally caught up with him because he could be put in prison for decades. Stealing a motorcycle isn't a prank, it's a crime. All of these prank YouTubers need to go. Isn't he a little too old to be doing pranks? Well, that was really the only content that actually got him attention, so he's kind of a one-trick pony. No, 20 years isn't enough. Johnny Somali mode activated, the clip that we saw previously. So I mean, I could probably make one of these videos every single week with the examples that come out all the time.
Let's take a look at how these two models blatantly cheated in a half marathon. Models Bree Tiesi and Chloe Teray signed up for a half marathon race based in Temecula, California. It was part of the Divas 5K and half marathon series, and they were expected to show up at 7:30 a.m. to lace up and run for a good cause. They come through just over 10K in 1:32.14, putting them in contention to finish in just a little over 3 hours. As they approach the 11-mile split though, no chip timer seems to go off, but perhaps it's some sort of weird error on the race organizer's part. But then they come through the finish line, and after getting some posing pictures and taking a look at the results to further confirm, she managed to finish with a time of 1:58.22 alongside her friend. Very odd. Bree did take this to Instagram to celebrate her accomplishment and posted a picture with the caption, quote, "My first half marathon with no prep in exactly 2 hours." The OP points out that despite Bree coming through the 6.4 mile mark at just over an hour and a half, she miraculously finished the rest of the race in under 30 minutes, which is essentially 4 minutes flat per mile pace. Not to mention she didn't even register an 11-mile split, whereas just about everyone else in the race did.
So apparently she turned on the jets halfway through the race and I guess became an Olympic athlete, and what you find out is she skipped a massive portion of it just to be able to get that attention online that, look, oh, I finished a half marathon, here's my medal, look at how good I look. Please like the post and comment and follow me and give me more attention so I can get more brand deals and make even more money. So this isn't really something new either, especially in the fitness industry. She's not really a fitness model in the way of being a bodybuilder, almost just like the lifestyle influencers that are also fit, but we've been seeing examples like this since basically the beginning of Instagram and the whole fitness industry turning into an online contest.
Okay, let's go. Sam Ashkahari, who is Britney Spears' husband. Now, somebody wanted me to do Britney Spears, but I'm gonna stay away from that one because, yeah. Anyway, so they sent me this photo, and I'm like, holy shit. You'd think that shouldn't be bent, right? We got him. But you know what? I always do my due diligence. I found a photo of this machine turned in the proper way, and it actually is bent. Is Sam off the hook? Fuck no, boy. Blew it here, man. Yeah, this should be straight. It's not. It's crooked where your bicep is because you pulled it out. And my man's always advertising shit for first form. Look at his arm in the back and look at that pole. This is a support beam. Why is it bending? And this one, he literally deleted his lat. Look. You gave away lats for biceps? Come on, bro. Advertising more fitness shit. Look at the windowsill there. You see it? It is completely straight in the following photo. Pathetic. It just blows my mind that these million follower accounts can do this shit so poorly and nobody calls it out or notices it. What the fuck?
This also is just one single example. There is a Reddit post that I found that was made 5 years ago that there was a dedicated Instagram account showing all the Photoshop, the best angles and Facetune that all these Instagram influencers were using, and Instagram actually deleted the account. So this has been going on for years, especially with bodybuilding. I think it's really messed up that, of course, the entire industry is laced with steroids, which overall I don't really have a problem with, especially if you say that you're on it. If you're trying trying to push your body past its limits, that's kind of the only way to do it. And most of the people who do it know that they're cutting down their life expectancy just to be able to look a little bit better now. And if you want to make that choice, that's on you, but there's a lot of people who will lie and say that they're completely clean, or they just have blatant Photoshop like that while trying to sell you supplements to make you think that you could be just as big as them, even though they're not as big as they seem in any of their pictures. And I would say pretty recently, over the past few years, there's been a lot of issues with that in the fitness industry of younger and younger kids starting to get on gear, taking crazy amounts of supplements just to try to be as big as somebody who they will just never be able to compete with. And it's all just to keep up the looks and the facade online, to have really nice pictures just so you could sell a little bit more of your supplement line or your clothing brand. And that's definitely not the only avenue where this happens. Now, I'm not going to go super in depth on it, but maybe you saw this story before. Brandon Miller, real estate mogul and husband of Mama and Tata influencer Candace Miller, dead at 43. So this was a couple that liked to show that they were super wealthy. The wife was a picture perfect Instagram influencer doing all the same things that everybody else does. The husband was an apparent multimillionaire because of real estate and ended up doing several bad deals and bankrupting the family. And to keep up the charade, instead of downsizing their life, he was doing even more deals until they were completely out of money, and then he unalived himself instead of going back to maybe a normal middle class life after bankruptcy. So I mean, you could really see how much social media will influence people. This guy would literally rather not be here than go back to a normal lifestyle and have people online know that the picture perfect life wasn't actually so.
Posing with friends in front of white leather seats, looking reflective out an airplane window, maybe even holding up a little bottle of champagne with a nonchalant, "Yeah, I do this all the time," look on their face. With private jets costing anywhere from $3,000 to $18,000 per hour, that's a whole lot of moolah going around. So how are so many people affording to soar the skies this way? Well, most likely it's because they're not soaring the skies in these pictures. Instead, they may be squarely on the ground, booking out one of the many fake private jet studios that are intended just for taking photos. That's right, there is a whole business of studios where you can pose and pretend you're on a luxury private jet. Sure, these studios may have originally popped up for movie or commercial sets, but nowadays they found a customer base and people trying to flex a lifestyle they don't truly have.
I mean, how sad is it to keep up the charade to your followers that you have to rent out a box that looks like a private jet from some movie set or something like that instead of actually going on the flight that you're supposed to be showing off? I think it was Bow Wow several years ago had a picture of him and made it look like he was flying on a private jet, and at the exact same time it was posted, there was a guy right behind him who took a picture and he was in just a normal economy class airplane going somewhere. It does amaze me, especially when people do a very poor job at trying to hide that they're just lying to their followers to make it seem like their life is better than it actually is, that they won't end up getting caught. Everybody has some sort of video camera now in their pocket, constantly looking and screenshotting and saving everything that you put online. So if you have really bad Photoshop pictures, somebody's going to find it out. Or lying about taking a trip and then just going on an airplane with a whole bunch of normal people. It's just very low effort lying. But another thing that I bet a lot of people don't really realize, especially the very young kids who want to be future content creators in their lives, that this isn't something that you're going to do till you're 65 and then retire. The internet has a very short life cycle. It's very difficult to have a long-lasting career online. A vast majority of content creators could be a couple years, could be weeks, or literally days if you're a meme and you completely fizzle out. One right off the top of my head, I'm thinking of that backpack kid from a long time ago. I think he's just completely fallen off the face of the earth. But if you do end up hitting something online, you start making a good amount of money, please save as much as you possibly can and don't turn into the LA influencer lifestyle, because when it's finally over, it's just going to put you into debt.
Most influencers fall off and go broke. Even though most people want to be influencers, this is a simple fact about it. I'll tell you why. So I knew this kid back in high school from my town, so I knew him pretty well, and he went to LA, moved to LA. Bro's getting the views, bro's getting the brand deals. He was making stupid retarded money, bro. Then something happened. The views dried up. And so when you're on social media, you have a shelf life. This happens to every creator. Views dry up. So what you do before that happens is you build a little infrastructure for yourself so you can financially sustain when you fall off. so you can adapt. So that put a lot of pressure on him. So then he had to go back to Canada, work a job. And when he was working a job, he couldn't post videos anymore. So he ended up losing like his whole platform pretty much. He doesn't post anymore.
So I mean, this could go a number of ways. You could just go back to having a normal 9-to-5 job. You could turn into Jason Nash, just begging for money on TikTok Live as entertainment, or people will just constantly make the same content and get less and less views and start having breakdowns, all to keep up an image online, which most of the time turns into having the luxury lifestyle.
Reminder to stop drinking coffee first thing in the morning and start drinking Kiala Greens, the watermelon slush flavor, which is the absolute best.
This is what I use every morning to start off my day. It's a nutrient-packed Super Greens powder by Rewind Greens.
Here are 3 reasons I love kombucha. It has probiotics, which are all the rage for good reason. When I drink healthy kombucha, I feel such a difference in my gut and I feel way less bloated.
I can't even list the benefits that you get from drinking this combination of tea. First, I love to start off with the turmeric, ginger, cinnamon tea, which we all know those ingredients are amazing for us. Then I add a scoop of the Bloom Super Greens.
I know that this is just a new version of the infomercials that we saw on TV for decades and decades. Magical superfoods that'll cure all of your illnesses. You'll lose a whole bunch of weight. I mean, they'll promise the world. And they all exaggerate what these products actually do, if not straight up lie. You can see the descriptions of these. If you want to feel amazing, stop drinking coffee first thing in the morning and start drinking Kiala Greens. Total game changer. It says creator earns a commission. Of course, you could shop on the TikTok shop to get this, so you don't even have to go to a different website. And there are countless influencers just trying to sell you the same thing. Here's the screenshot for the Bloom Super Greens. The health, and it tastes great. Yeah, it definitely looks like it tastes great. Creator earns a commission and shop the TikTok shop to buy it. You could see that some of these people, entire personality, their whole career is to just be an online salesman for any sort of product you could think of. One of the ones that I see constantly now is Bloom going through all of these influencers, these massive creators with millions of followers, that it's amazing for your gut and it reduces bloating and all of these other things, very similar to the AG1 Super Greens we saw probably about a year ago. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos, many in-video sponsorships by all different types of creators were shelling out the AG1 packs that were $100 each, insanely expensive. And when people started to break down what was actually in the product, it wasn't nearly enough for the daily intake you would actually need. Very minimal benefits, but they sponsored a whole bunch of big fitness people who are either super in shape, really jacked, big bodybuilders. So to normal people, you think that you'd have to take these AG1 greens to be able to look like them, even though it could cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. This person on screen who had the advertisement for a video has 8.5 million followers. That's crazy.
I hate to break it to you, but Bloom products are not going to cure your bloating. All of these influencers all over TikTok talking about you should buy Bloom because it cures your bloating. No, it doesn't.
There were a lot of things that pissed me off about the fitness and supplement industry, but this has to be my number one right now. Everywhere you turn, it's Bloom Greens, Kiala Greens, this green, that green. Please, you guys, listen to me when I tell you you are wasting your money. And let me tell you why. First and foremost, I always tell people before you get anything, no matter what anybody says, go look at the fucking reviews. Reviews meaning clinical studies. Y'all didn't do that. That's self-explanatory because it's going to speak for itself. Number 2, it talks about improving bloating. You understand that you're bloated because of what you're eating, what you're consuming, right? Okay. You cannot take something and do these colon flushes and thinking that it's doing a good job because something that you are consuming is fucking up your internal gut.
So because of our big fat American diet, surprisingly, our bodies aren't taking it too well, so you could feel bloated all the time and sluggish. So apparently the answer, instead of improving your diet, is just take something that'll magically reduce the bloating. I mean, it's genius in the eyes of the company and marketing, but overall this kind of stuff does not work, especially in the health and fitness industry. Any of the supplements that have been proven to help many people are such small incremental improvements instead of taking better care of yourself, exercising, eating healthier diets. But no, we have to have every creator under the sun shilling you a magic pill that will cure all of your problems. And I want to say before the rest of this video, I do understand the importance of marketing. If you make a genuinely good product that is better than any of the competition around, the only thing that you could really do to get it out to the masses is to market it. There are various forms of advertisements, but one of the biggest ones now is of course social media, because nobody's going to try the product in the first place if they've never heard of it or seen it before. But now the influencers that do the the hidden advertisement in their relatable 30-second TikTok talking about a problem that they have in their life. And look, this magic product, this service fixed everything and you should do it too. To me, it just seems more shady than a 30-second ad in between TV shows, because from what we've seen, an increasing amount of these companies and products are misleading or straight up bogus. I mean, look at this one.
If you're part of the itty bitty or you always wanted to be LL, let me show you what I saw the girls doing. First of all, this has 14,000 reviews. It's just crazy. The reviews I saw on the Vervana gummies, you have the peach gains and you have the top support. Not only that, it's on sale right now, so don't miss out.
Okay, so we have another creator shelling a TikTok product so they could get commissions. They are shelling a pill that is supposed to do the same thing a surgery is supposed to do. For many people now, if you don't know what it is, the BBL, Brazilian butt lift. Instead of going to the gym and working out, people just want it instantly. And now we've taken it a step further. You don't even need surgery. These magic gummies or pills are going to do it. They also try to give it more credibility with the reviews now. But if you look up really any product online, reviews don't matter anymore. Amazon, one of the biggest online marketplaces, all of the Amazon choice products, stuff that's on the first page that will get unbelievable amounts of sales, just go to the reviews. You could clearly see that tons of these 5-star ratings are just bots. It's completely broken English. It's scripts being paid for by the companies selling the products to make you believe that it's the best product on the face of the planet. And because Amazon doesn't really care about that, they just want to sell more products, none of these websites care anymore. So when I see 5-star reviews now, it just doesn't even matter anymore. But the description, and they taste good too. Yeah, sure they do. Creator earns commissions and tap here to try. I'm going insane. I'm just saying it over and over again. Even the comments on this video almost seemed like bots. 224,000 of these have been sold, by the way. Wow, I need to get these for my girlfriend. She's lacking. If this isn't a bot comment, you really decide to say that online? Nice, dude. Not gonna lie, I've been taking these for almost 3 months and I'm underwhelmed by the results. Really? So you thought these magical gummies are gonna change your body when you just sat on the couch not exercising or changing your diet at all? Really? Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. I definitely felt a difference with top support. So you're just trying to add on another product that they have to use and then it'll work. But had to stop since I wasn't working out. So nothing in this video said that you also had to be exercising while using these gummies. Clearly misleading everybody. And I would venture to guess if you had a clinical study to see the difference between these gummies and working out and just working out by yourself, there would be virtually no difference. We have a comment from one of you guys. There are actually people on the internet who aren't completely honest and truthful. I'm shocked, utterly shocked. No matter how much this stuff seems pretty obvious to many people even watching this video, this clip coming up worked so well. I mean, I can't even imagine how much money they made.
I have a message for Kourtney Kardashian. If you're not Kourtney Kardashian, just keep scrolling. Miss Kourtney, you sent me this in a PR box, okay, with 2 other products. You sent me this. I read it. It says, let me sleep. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Let me sleep, okay? And what? And f***ing what? I sniff it. I go, oh, that's cute. That's cute that you think that's gonna smell that f***ing delicious and put me to sleep.
So this video gained tens of millions of views, and I bet made them so much money off of their fans buying these products because, oh, it's relatable. It's not like a normal TV ad. She's cursing. It's like she's one of us. Even though you got a PR package from Kourtney Kardashian. So you don't think that this entire scenario was completely scripted because, of course, real quick, you look at the top comment. It's Kourtney Kardashian commenting saying, sweet dreams. All of this was planned by their marketing teams way before any of this was uploaded. But people fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And then the product is plastered all over TikTok Shop, so it's just as easy for you to buy. There's other clips of people going to the store and buying it, and it being apparently the magic drug for anybody to fall asleep just instantly. But then, shocker, you start looking a little bit more into the product, and it is completely overpriced.
Please do not go buy Let Me Sleep after you saw that viral video that got almost 35 million views. The creator is amazing, but touting this product, it's not a good product, and I'm gonna tell you why. In my opinion, Let Me Vitamins is the most overhyped, overpriced supplement brand on the market. The only reason the creator got such great sleep from this is because it has 5 milligrams of melatonin. That is a hefty dose. Of course that is gonna knock you out. Here's where Let Me is just a money grab. This bottle is $30. $30 for the only thing that's really working in there for you to fall asleep is melatonin. Go look on the market. You can get melatonin as cheap as $5 a bottle, and they are charging you $30.
So many people have issues with that nowadays. It might be because we're constantly over caffeinated throughout the entire day and then staring at a screen for hours on end, especially at nighttime when we're supposed to be going to sleep. Maybe that has effects on our body doing it year after year. But again, this magical pill, this magical gummy is going to knock you out right away. And I bet it would help for a lot of people, even if it is overpriced. But for me, at least, I've tried melatonin before. It does absolutely nothing to me. I could take a ton of it and I will just sit there staring at the ceiling trying to go to sleep. It does not work for me for some reason. And we have another comment here. I remember when an influencer was somebody you knew, like your mother or father, not a random stranger on TikTok. Yes, word of mouth was very important for companies trying to sell products, but that means it had to genuinely work enough for a family member to tell you that, yeah, this is really good, you should go out and buy it. Now it's a lot easier for somebody with 10 million followers. Here, we'll give you $100,000+. Make it look like this is the best thing that you could possibly buy. Even if it works on 1% of their viewers, you could still have 100,000 people purchase that product instantly. And if they find out that it is pretty crap or a complete scam, you still got a whole bunch of money. The influencer still got paid, and at the worst, they have to make some sort of apology video on TikTok, and then it's completely swept under the rug. Here we have another one that a lot of people got angry at for a good reason, just to advertise their drink in a market that is so oversaturated.
Meet my new baby. I'm just kidding. I'm just having this for the Super Bowl. But we clearly need to stock her up, so I figured we could do that together. If you're an OG, you remember all my little mini fridge restocks. So we've upgraded a little bit. I literally love Poppy so much. This is actually insane. They sent so many of the other flavors, so we're gonna get it all stocked up and ready for the Super Bowl.
So this is one of the restock influencers that I've talked about several times on my main channel. Crazy overconsumption, filling an entire fridge just with decor for the holidays. Insane amount of waste, but it comes with an insane amount of views. And now we have companies sending influencers entire vending machines to advertise their sodas, as if this is supposed to be some sort of relatable video to everybody. I do think in the end, most people thought that this was pretty bad, but no PR is bad PR in today's world, so I bet they still got a whole bunch more customers, and they're gonna do it again. By the way, the clip up on screen was from a creator with 14 million followers. We got another comment here. I swear in 10 years, we'll look back at the influencer era like some sort of collective fever dream, and we'll wonder what was wrong with us. Maybe that could be the case if something else comes along after social media, the new big thing, but if this just keeps growing like it has over the past decade or so, I feel like it'll only end up getting worse. I mean, I have another clip on screen. Right now, restock my monthly PR with me as an Alani ambassador. This is another one of the energy drinks. Again, huge oversaturation of the market. How many different energy drinks could you buy now? And on the contrary to the previous clips, you could see this person's entire account is dedicated to Alani with only 3,500 followers. So they're getting PR packages from massive companies with this small of a following. That's how all of these advertisements could just spread like wildfire. I mean, it even says wannabe influencer in her description, but their entire personality on the page is just drinking an energy drink. And I'm definitely not saying that everybody's falling for this. I have seen a growing trend of people just making fun of influencers constantly. Every influencer on my For You page right now with the Alani drinks doing that weird tapping ASMR that was similar to the restock videos we've seen. I don't know why everything has to like intertwine with each other. Very similar types of videos just thrown in our face all the time. But here's a clip that I found that I thought was just going a little bit too far. If you know anything about the Lululemon and Aloe space, you know, very expensive sort of athletic wear, as in like $100+ for a pair of leggings, which again, if you've seen a little bit of the news, back in the Chinese factories that these were made in and shipped over to the US, they cost just a couple dollars to make, and you're still spending more than $100 for one pair. It seems like the quality of Aloe clothing is pretty poor for how much money you're already spending on it, so people are taking the logos and putting it on better quality items just so they could wear the brand, even though it's not their actual material. That's how ingrained some of these companies have gotten into people's minds. Literally making your own replica merchandise just so it says the brand name on your pants. Again, I do have to give it to them. This is next level marketing. If you could get into people's minds this heavily. Here's the description from this video. We like the name of the brand, but not the material that comes with it. So don't wear it. It's crap. Aloe stickers from Etsy and Viola, you saved yourself $300. I have a lot of clothes from Aloe, but I don't want to spend that much money anymore. They already got your wallet clearly, and you're spending money to make your own replica versions of it. Absolutely unreal. The comments are not that much better. I should have done the same. Wasted money on the cheap quality. So why would you wear them in the first place? Why does it have to have the logo? Wear what you want. This is so weird. Couldn't agree with that one more, but we're gonna finish off this video with a clip on why I don't think that this will get any better.
Brands that work with smaller influencers. Starting off is one that I've gotten a couple times. It's White Fox. Next, this one is one of my dreams. I haven't gotten it yet, but I've seen lots of other girls get it, is Amika. I've seen them send some crazy packages. Hit up my line, Amika. Next is Say Beauty. I have also seen them jam-pack full boxes for girls.
You could kind of get what you're going to hear in this video. There are many like this of all of these wannabe influencers who don't have the following that could still get free stuff to try to advertise to the few people that watch them. So it'll make it even easier when you're scrolling on your For You page that every couple swipes will be some sort of hidden advertisement for this brand. I really don't know what to make of it anymore. And we have another comment from one of you guys. I had a relative who claimed on social media that their weight loss was attributed to diets and a special pill. Wow, where have we heard that? When in fact, she had her stomach stapled. They still do road shows talking about the amazing weight loss effects from dietary and some special vitamin supplements, which they sell and make a lot of money from just from lying. It's sad. So their relatives still doing it in person. You don't even have to do that now. You could just take your phone and talk to the audience like this, and then boom, here comes a whole bunch of money from you lying. It really is becoming more and more of a sad world out there. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.